I hope they have someplace nice picked out. Of course, I'm sure the arrangements have already long been made. They seem like a responsible couple with the ability to look forward. Kind of a slow news day today. No real major stories other than one that broke late last night, and everyone has put their 2 cents worth in, so I figured why not add mine? It's a guarantee. The president and his wife, the first couple, will have need of a place displayed on the right of the screen. There's no debating this. Everyone will have need of such a place at some point in time in their life. Hamlet, the play by Shakespeare, is a treatise on man's relationship with death, his own mortality, and the death of others, and how that changes as we age. I find it appropriate because of some of the references made. He talks about Alexander, he talks about Caesar, and at one point he even talks about his own mortality, where he says, "There is a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be not now, it be to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all, for no man knows aught of what he leaves. What is to leave? Betimes let be," speaking to Laertes, attempting to convince him to forego a duel where he believes he might die. There's a 95% chance that this particular issue with the president will pass and he'll be perfectly fine. Even a greater chance for his wife because she's younger. But it does bring up the topic. Earlier in that play, Hamlet was waxing poetic about death when he spoke of Alexander, but only moments later it became very personal for him when he found out that his love of his life, Ophelia, had died. But here he speaks, "Alexander died, Alexander was buried. Alexander returneth into dust, the dust is earth, of earth we make loam, and why of that loam whereto he was converted, might they not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth which kept the world in awe should patch a wall to expel the winter's flaw." The Bible even reinforces this idea. We all have a date. We all have an appointment with death. And as it is appointed for men to die once, but after this the judgment, for we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Christ. For it is written, "As I live, says the Lord, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to God. So then each of us shall give account of himself to God." I'm sure a man his age has had moments of retrospection where he looks at the decisions he made and what they might mean, and as you get older and get older and get older, you start to assess them and you make decisions differently. I'm sure looking back he would have made a lot of decisions differently, but given that all of his decisions culminated in where he is today, he might have to look at that again and wonder what would have happened had I not done this or not done that. Job wrote, "But man dies and lies prostrate. Man expires, and where is he? If a man dies, will he live again? All the days of my struggle I will wait until my change comes." John wrote, "Do not marvel at this, for an hour is coming, in which all who are in the tombs will hear his voice, and will come forth, those who did the good deeds, to a resurrection of life, those who committed the evil deeds to a resurrection of judgment." But we aren't to live in fear. Psalms writes about this. "You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste. At noonday 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you." Some believe everyone's going to be saved. That's completely false. Matthew 7, "Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat, because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it." We are souls. We are not bodies. We are souls that have bodies, and we will leave these bodies behind. That is biblical. It's even been written about in many other forms. I've used Hamlet today to kind of outline this, but COVID-19, he has a great chance of getting through it. But he has a 0% chance of getting out of this life alive. Same goes for his wife. Same goes for his kids. Same goes for you. Same goes for me. We will be changed. COVID-19 affects the body, not the soul. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both the soul and the body in hell. So that should probably inform the direction we walk, the path we take, and what we believe and the choices that we make. Now, I'm not taking the president to task with any of his choices, with the life that he's lived. The evil to the day is sufficient thereof. I have my own to deal with. The man has chosen a life of politics and has chosen to put himself out there as the leader, and I'm sure those who support him probably don't agree with everything he's done. But when it comes to a situation like this, when faced with possible mortality because of this disease or that disease or some other disease, it shouldn't be anything particular to him. This was long ago decided, the destiny of the body of man. That we make such a big fuss over it with images like you see on the right here is a bit narcissistic. It's really for the living, not for the dead, for they have no perception of it. I was watching a show on, I forget what source here on the internet, where there was a family that was so fearful of being buried alive that they were buried with handles on the inside of their vaults and with food and with water and with air vents, because they were so sure that someone was going to mistake them for being dead. That somehow they feel like they needed a ease of access to get out. I'm sure there was some religious aspect to it. But this particular scene from Hamlet is kind of a halfway point between where he began with his first soliloquy, talking about to be or not to be, that is the question, whether be nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. I'm sure you know those words quite well, virtually everyone does. Where he talks about how conscience makes cowards of us all, about how life is so hard, yet could life after death be even harder, therefore we should stay where we're at. And then all the way to the end where I had referenced before, where he's like, if I die, I die. If I die now, I die now. If I die years from now, I die then. But just being ready is all. Being ready is all that matters. And it doesn't matter whether you're Alexander or Donald Trump or Caesar, anyone. It doesn't matter. Because we will face the judgment. And our job is to just be ready for it. And make decisions as if that day were today. So I suppose I'll leave it there and let people make up their own minds. People can make their own decisions about how they want to react to this. It's entertaining to watch the media, though, to see them so specifically wound up about the physical status of the president or his wife or anyone else. Leaders come, leaders go. We had a leader in a wheelchair. I don't know why they're making this out to be such a big deal. We had a man lead this country, one of the greatest, that had incredible physical maladies, challenges to overcome, especially given the era that he lived in. So, very likely the president and the first lady will be just fine. They'll probably have a bout with a cold. I mean, God knows how many presidents in the last 40 or 50 years during their time in office at some point had some bout with the flu or some other malady that never got reported. But yet everybody's going to stop the world for this news. Anyway, I will leave it there. God bless, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time.